The Fall of the Roman Empire, a cinematic reimagining. Echo Realm, Episode 1. In the heart of a world that once called itself eternal, stone spoke the language of power. Roads tied continents like veins, eagles watched from standards of iron and gold, and then slowly at first, then all at once, the thousand pillars trembled. This is the fall of Rome, remembered through time's echo. Rome did not begin as empire, but as an argument with the impossible. A small people on a bend of the Tiber, stubborn enough to name order where others saw chance. Discipline made legions, law made citizens, roads made a world within the world. The empire learned to speak in Latin and coin, in aqueduct and arch, in fear and in fascination. From the marble of the Forum to the amphitheaters on the frontier, the same promise carried. Pax Romana, peace purchased by victory. Greatness breeds its own weather. Wealth pooled in villas while debt pooled in the streets. Grain from Africa fed the capital. Gold from the east fed the appetite. And yet, beneath the banquets and triumphs, hairline cracks formed in the marble. Caesars rose and fell like the seasons. Assassinations were calendars. Civil wars, the clock. The empire stretched, the empire thinned. To save the body, the surgeons cut it in two. In 395, Rome split west and east, each with an emperor, each with a destiny. Constantinople, jewel of the Bosporus, would endure. The west, with its proud old capital and fraying purse, would dream of yesterday and pay for tomorrow. Armies grew expensive, loyalty more so. Mercenaries marched beneath Roman eagles, but not beneath Roman hearts. On the frontiers, the air itself seemed restless. Peoples moved, pushed by hunger, pulled by hope, driven by other riders no one could stop. Visigoths sought refuge, then redress, then revenge. Vandals found ships and a future in Africa. The Huns arrived like a storm with a human name, Attila. Rome still spoke in decrees. The world answered in hoofbeats. In 410, the unimaginable became an address. Alaric's Visigoths breached Rome, the first sack in 800 years. The city that taught the world how to march could only listen to the sound of its own doors opening. Not ruin, not yet, but the spell was broken. Empires are stories we tell ourselves. Rome had discovered that stories can be interrupted. The West kept breathing, emperors still signed edicts, yet taxes grew cruel. Fields went barren. Cities learned the language of empty. A senate debated in rooms too large for its purpose. Generals became kings in everything but name. On maps, Rome still owned the world. On the ground, the world disagreed. In 476, a boy wore a crown he could not keep. Romulus Augustulus, Rome's last emperor, yielded to Odoacer, a soldier with no patience for old titles. The imperial insignia traveled east, a polite acknowledgement that the West had run out of breath. There was no final trumpet, no curtain falling, just a change in the temperature of history. But empires never only fall, they also dissolve into the things they taught. Latin became law's first language. Roads became Europe's bones. The church learned organization from the legions. The idea of Rome outlived the authority of Rome. Even those who toppled her could not escape her gravity. What ends a civilization? Borders? Debts? Pride? Climate? Luck? The answer is not a single sword, but a long weather of choices. 1,000 small surrenders. 1,000 quiet arrogances. And then one morning, the familiar sky is no longer yours. Walk the ruins. Touch the pitted columns and the warmth of dust. Hear the market that is no longer there. Feel the parade that will never return. You are not only looking at the past, you are listening to yourself. For every age believes it is eternal. Every age forgets it is not. And every age, when it ends, leaves an echo. Echo Realm, where stories from the past still whisper.